and JD's going to break it down for you and what each team brings to the table as they head into the maybe most important Bedlam in the history of Bedlam right now.
Maybe the last one in the history of Bedlam, too.
I think there'll be one more. It's definitely probably going to be the last one in Stillwater for a long time.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this is going to be, a lot going into this game. Tons going into this game, and so there's a couple matchups that we're going to break down, one of which being, we're going to start out with, the Oklahoma secondary versus these Oklahoma State receivers, especially in man coverage, because we've seen some weaknesses on the Oklahoma side of things, then we've seen some strengths on the Oklahoma State side of things. And it's imperative for this group to win, this group being the Oklahoma State receiving corps, because your man right here is good, but he's not great. Okay, so he needs to have some wide open windows to throw to. So right here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. They're in man coverage. You can check right now by the Dell. They call it depth, eyes, leverage. So look at his depth. He's about, about a yard and a half off the ball. His eyes, he's looking right at this man, hence the term man coverage. And then leverage, he's right over him. So if he breaks this way, he's good. He breaks this way, he's good. Or so he thinks. But anyways, we have man here. We have man here. We also have very little safety help. See how much my man is back here. See how much ground he has to cover. That's a whole lot of real estate for two receivers. So what happens right here, we got a corner route. And he's just going to shake and bake, push this way to the post, out to the corner, and just absolutely loses him, which makes for an easy throw for Spencer Sanders. John Paul Richardson kind of had his coming out party in this game. So right here, boom, right here. This, when you have him trailing, easy cash money. Let's go and rewind that. When you have him in trail, you win right here. Right here, he has already lost the route because he is chasing on a corner route. So he's going to push here, boom, explodes out, just loses him. This is not what you want to have on film. The Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. That's kind of like what's playing right now in film for this guy. John Paul Richardson. Easy pitch and catch. So, enter in Oklahoma to the chat. Again, depth, eyes, leverage. Depth, about a yard. Eyes, right on his man. Leverage, he's square. Tyquan Thornton puts my man in the blender. Shake and bake like Talladega Nights, shake and bake Ricky Bobby. That's what happens right here. Gives him a quick step to the inside. Boom. Again, if you're trailing in man, you are in big trouble, especially when you got Tyquan Thornton running a go route. So this is bad for business, but this is going to be a matchup I'm watching. You have a liability in the Oklahoma secondary, and you have a lot of players in the Oklahoma State receiving corps that can make you miss in space and are really good in man coverage. And I'm just going to be watching that matchup, honestly, all game long, because if they're able to win over the top and allow Spencer Sanders to kind of get into a rhythm throwing the football, that's going to do wonders for this Oklahoma State offense in this game.
Yeah, that Tyquan Thornton touchdown was maybe one of the best throws that Gary Bohannon's ever made. It was smooth looking, but he didn't really have to. He could have thrown an underhand because that DB was staring in the backfield the entire time. I don't know what he thought was going to happen on 4th down and goal either. I still don't know what he was really looking for. Like that'll be one thing I'll go to my grave wondering, like, what was he thinking was going to happen?
Yeah, just kind of outthinking himself, it looks like.
Well, I'm pretty sure Oklahoma told him, like, you're on Tyquan. It's probably coming your way.
Yeah.
Follow him. And wherever he goes.
He tried to follow him.
Yeah.
Just got left. And that makes me a little bit nervous for the Oklahoma secondary against Oklahoma State. Second thing I want to see in this game. If you're Oklahoma, can you match the physicality that Oklahoma State's going to bring? The best comp for them, the best test they've seen so far this year, you'd have to think Baylor. Similar approach, run-first approach, a great back in Abram Smith right here. So we're going to take a look at two plays here. Oklahoma right now, again, 4th and 2, so short yard situation. You probably know it's a run play. You're stacking the box. You got what's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the box. We'll call him a DB. So you know the run's coming. You've got it stacked up. For Baylor, running your typical wide zone, everyone's pushing this way, this way, this way. Whole line's going that way. Got a lead blocker in the fullback. Oklahoma actually does a great job playing this pretty well. They actually, if you want to talk about X's and O's, they probably win this play schematically. So watch what happens right here. Do a great job. So he falls off his block. He gets underneath. Abram Smith probably should cut this up and under right to begin with. He continues to push and runs right into his man. So it should be a tackle for a loss, a TFL. What happens? Gets stopped right here. Make the tackle, you're good. Make that, okay, yeah, you make the tackle. We're reaching, okay, we're out of position there. You got just off him. Oh no, again, right here. Dun, 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 dun. 4 missed tackles, gain of 4, first down Baylor on 4th and 2. And it's plays like that we saw time and time and again in the Baylor game where Oklahoma just couldn't answer the call to be as physical as Baylor. So if they can't do that against Oklahoma State, we got problems. So Oklahoma State's going to bring to the table very similar approach here, kind of a wide zone scheme. They don't have a lead blocker right here with the fullback. They do it with their tight end right here. Similar kind of scheme. Texas does a good job defending it, but Jaylen Warren runs very similar to Abram Smith, gets downhill, runs behind his pads really fiercely. It's going to be a problem. So right here, he actually beats his block, this defensive tackle does. He shifts, he's going to fall off right here and meet him in the hole. So he's unblocked right here. Doesn't matter, we get around the outside, going so fast, making everybody right. Now right here, make a tackle, make a tackle, make a tackle. Even you, come up, make a tackle, make a tackle. What does he do? Runs by all of them, full head of steam, gets downhill in a hurry. So all that to be said, the physical play of Jaylen Warren, can Oklahoma match that with their front seven? If they can't, it's going to be a long day because that's what Oklahoma State wants to do. They want to pound the rock. They want to feed number 7.
Well, and look, if you go off the Baylor game alone, that was a matchup that Oklahoma lost again and again and again, JD. They lost it over and over and over again, and Baylor dominated them physically the entire game. No matter what happened, no matter what the momentum swing was in the game, Baylor took it back. And for Oklahoma State, that's what they do. They out-physical you all the time. And, Jaylen Warren and Abram Smith, pretty equal numbers when you look at what they do and their skill set and, running through people, making you really pay for arm tackles. Oklahoma cannot do that, what they did against Abram Smith, and hope that it's going to turn out the same or better than it does when they play Warren.
Absolutely. To be fair, they looked good last week against Breece Hall. Breece Hall had like 19 carries, 50-something yards. But in that game, when they, like you said, continue to be physical, pound the rock, Abram Smith had like 150 yards. So that cannot be the story for you if you're Oklahoma. Now, probably the most important thing that I want to see, the key to this game for me, if you're Oklahoma, how do you handle Caleb Williams? Because to me, one ace you may have up your sleeve is the quarterback run game, because Oklahoma State, great defense. They've never had to account for someone like 13 back there. He's a special player. He's a special athlete, got a lot of speed. So right here, it's an RPO game. They're going to do a great job giving him options. So right here in the RPO, we are bringing a rodeo motion right behind him. He's got an outlet pass here if he wants it. He is reading my man right here. If he flies out, it's fine. We're going to tuck it, and we got a power coming back the other way with our guard pulling, our tackle pulling, and our running back leading up for us. If he stays in, we're going to get it out to our rodeo motion on the outside. So watch what happens. Boom. Right here, our decision's made for us. He's trying to fly out. That's fine. It creates a good picture for us. We're pulling around here. We're pulling around here, and watch the back lead up. We got numbers, and then 13 is just special. Off to the races. I want to take a look at this. The benefit of the quarterback design run is you add in an extra blocker. So that means you have essentially everybody blocked. You're going 10 on 11, you have the safety you got to beat, and Caleb Williams is going to make that safety miss 10 times out of 10. Gone. Legit 4.5 speed. He's 19 years old. This is going to be something Oklahoma State has to account for. They have so many dudes on defense. But Oklahoma with Caleb Williams, it's going to be a problem.
Well, and the thing is, you also you run the risk if you put a spy on him, he makes the spy look bad, and then it's pointless to have that guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he is going to be a problem, and I would think that they're going to run him heavy in this game.
I think they're going to have to. They're going to have to control the tempo and allow him to just keep them on schedule. What I would do if I'm Oklahoma State, and this is the last clip, if I'm Jim Knowles, I'm heating him up. We've seen him have issues with complex defenses. Oklahoma State does a great job of being complex, being exotic. Right here, they do what's called a green dog blitz. Talked about it last week in our Chalk Talk. All the green dog means is I have him man right here. We're man here. We're man here. Unless they pass block. If they pass block, I have the green light to be a dog in blitz. So they essentially ask him to be in pass pro, ask him to be in pass pro, and watch both my guys right here come in hot and get after Brock Purdy. So watch, boom. He's in pass pro. He's got the green light. He's going. He's kind of checking to see if he comes. He's kind of checking to see what he does. He's in pass pro. Okay, I'm coming. We got 2 dudes coming after you, Brock Purdy. And they get home. Just freaks of nature coming after him. That's not fun if you're Brock Purdy. So Caleb Williams, he's done a great job for the most part this season, just being athletic, being a playmaker. Hasn't had to digest too much of a complex defense besides the situation in Waco. So what happens when you heat him up at Oklahoma State? I want to see. It's what I would do if I was playing against Oklahoma with Caleb Williams. It can be a fun matchup to watch.
That's what Ron Roberts did.
Yeah.
I mean, they took some chances with Caleb Williams. He never got loose running the ball, never got loose passing the ball. Nothing went well for Oklahoma, save for 2 drives in a game where they were absolutely stomped physically in Waco. And so that's what leads me to believe that Oklahoma State has most of the advantage in this game. They play a lot like Baylor plays, and Football's not necessarily about the name on your jersey that much. I think it's about matchups. It's about, some people will be like, well, why did, Alabama lose to A&M? A&M had better matchups than Ole Miss did. Why did A&M lose to Ole Miss? Ole Miss had better matchups against A&M. All those things happen. It's just one of those weird matchup things that happens. I think Oklahoma State, the way that they match up, and plus of the way they're playing right now, this is not good for Oklahoma.
Peaking at the right time, it feels like Oklahoma's still kind of trying to find themselves. You don't want to be finding yourself the last week of the season. Never good for business.
Yeah. And be 10-1 and nobody really knows who you are.
Right, yeah.
That's very weird. It's very, very weird.